They almost ruined their marriage, all because of the dream to travel abroad. But what happened next will shock you. Come with me, guys. Let's dive into this movie together. Hey friends, welcome to another mind-blowing movie featuring your amazing actress and actor. I know you wouldn't want to miss this one because it's so educative and full of real-life drama. But before we dive in, why not subscribe for more captivating movies from us? The story begins with a group of young ladies who seem to be waiting for their match. Suddenly, a guy named Banji walks in, and everyone bursts their balloons. Oh wait, there's one more person left with her balloons. Her name is Awel. Guess what? They both said yes, and just like that, we have a match. But hold on, sweet, right? Well, that's not how Awel's love story truly goes. Come on, guys, stay tuned and watch out. One beautiful morning, Aweli came out to have her bath but forgot to knock before opening the bathroom door, only to find Banji already taking his bath. Furious, Banji wrapped his towel around his waist and chased after her. Hearing the noise in the compound, the neighbors rushed out to see what was happening. Everyone tried to calm Banji down, but he kept shouting. Suddenly, Aweli shouted back at him before running inside, with Banji chasing after her, leading him to see what he was not supposed to see. Meanwhile, one of the neighbors secretly recorded the whole drama, not realizing something serious was happening inside. 6 months later, Aweli and Banji are now married. They're seen watching one of their old videos, laughing. Aweli then looks at her old self and says she used to be prettier back then. Banji gets offended and walks out. Aweli follows him, trying to cheer him up. Just then, their elderly landlady returns home, and the couple rushes to welcome her. As she tries to hand Aweli something she bought for her, Banji quickly grabs it and runs inside. Aweli chases after him, and as they argue playfully, Aweli receives a call from Collins, her friend abroad. Collins offers to help them, but before he could finish his sentence, Aweli's phone goes off. They rush to a neighbor's salon to call him back. When they finally reach him, Collins tells them that there's an opportunity for one of them to travel abroad, but they'll need $600,000. He also suggests that Awele should come over first. The couple thanks him and returns home. That night, during dinner, Banji breaks the silence. He insists that as the head of the house, he should be the one to travel first so he can later send for Awele. But Awele refuses, saying she should go first. They argue bitterly, and Banji storms out in anger. Moments later, he returns only to find out that Awele has finished the food they were supposed to share. Furious, he tells her to wait and see who will travel first before walking away. The next morning, everyone in the compound lines up waiting for Banji to come out of the bathroom. They laugh when they notice Awele didn't join him as usual. Later that day, Banji heads to his friend's car. As they try to start it, the engine refuses to work. They both argue while checking what went wrong before finally driving off. Meanwhile, Awele visits Golden, one of their neighbors, asking for help to raise the $600,000 within 2 weeks. After chatting for a while, Golden agrees to link her up with someone who can help. On the other hand, Banji is seen at the mechanic shop begging his boss for financial help, but his boss refuses. That night, when Banji returns home, he's shocked to find Awele counting a large sum of money. Surprised and suspicious, he starts questioning her, but Awele stays silent. The next morning, Banji and his friend were seen carrying his belongings to sell. When their landlady noticed, she became concerned and asked if they were leaving the house. Banji replied that he just needed to settle a few things. As they were leaving, Golden saw them and quickly went to inform Awel. The moment Awele heard the news, she rushed out without wasting time and blocked them, struggling to stop them from selling the property. That night, both Awele and Banji tried to sleep, but peace was far from their hearts. The next day, Banji was at work singing when Golden came to see him, bringing him food. Banji was surprised, thinking Awele sent it, and called out her name. That was when Golden told him what she had seen, that Awele was spotted entering another man's car. Shocked and furious, Banji ran out immediately to confirm it for himself. Later that day, Banji was still at work with his boss and his friend Pressure as they chatted and gave him their opinions and advice. That evening, Banji returned home only to find Awele counting another bundle of money. They argued again, and Banji angrily asked if she was having an affair with another man. Awele quickly bent down, refusing to respond to his accusation. Later that night, while Awele was asleep, Banji secretly went through her phone and found a message that upset him deeply. The following day, Banji secretly followed Awele to her destination to confirm if what Golden had told him was true. To his surprise, he saw her standing with a man, chatting. That same day, Golden dressed up elegantly to go out. Her boyfriend wasn't happy about it, but she lied, saying she was going to give food to her pastor. They argued for a while before she left. While Banji was at work with his friend, Golden showed up again with food for him. Banji quickly went to meet her, collected the food, and told her to leave. Pressure was surprised to see her bringing Banji food, and afterward, the two men talked about it. That night, while Banji was checking his bet slip, Awele brought food for both of them, but Banji refused to eat and walked inside. Later that night, while they were asleep, Banji began to disturb Awele out of frustration. The next day, Pressure came looking for Banji, sounding excited as if they had won the bet. But when he finally spoke, he revealed that they had actually lost. Banji immediately fainted. Awele rushed out, confused, and fetched water to pour on him. When he regained consciousness and asked again, Pressure repeated that they lost the bet. Banji fainted for the second time. That same day, Golden visited her boyfriend with a special dish. But her real intention was to ask him for money. She needed 300,000. At first, he was shocked, but after a short conversation, he agreed to give it to her. Meanwhile, Banji sat outside the house, shaking his head in disappointment. When Awele came out and saw him, she too felt disappointed and left for work. The moment she left, Banji locked the door and secretly followed her. That evening, he found her at a shop, arguing with a man. Shocked to see her there, Banji quietly walked away before she noticed him. Afterward, the man who employed Awele told her to come back the next day to collect the money she needed. Excited, she thanked him and left happily. When Banji got home, he heard noise coming from the room. Before going inside, he thought to himself, if Awele can hustle out there, why can't I do the same? When he finally entered, he saw Awele singing and dancing. He mocked her for not being able to get the money she wanted. The next day at the shop, Golden came to meet Banji again, offering him the 600,000 he needed, but on one condition, that he must marry her. They talked for a while, and though Banji collected the money, he didn't promise to marry her. Meanwhile, Awele stood before her boss, who was ready to give her the complete amount of money. But then, he told her she would have to sleep with him before he could hand it over. Shocked and heartbroken, Awele refused, saying she loved her husband too much to do such a thing. Angry, the man told her to return whatever money he had already given her. Without wasting time, Awele firmly promised to refund his money and walked out. That night, Banji sat outside, lost in thought, pondering the offer Golden had made to him, wondering whether or not to accept it. After a while, he went inside and found Awele sitting on the floor, looking moody and heartbroken. Immediately, he realized that the person who had promised to give her money had disappointed her. They ended up arguing again. The following day, Banji went straight to return Golden's money, telling her clearly that he loved his wife and had no plans to marry another woman. While he spoke, Golden's boyfriend, Tega, overheard everything, including Golden's desperate pleas. Afterward, Banji returned to work. His friend Pressure tried to talk to him, but Banji seemed distracted, pacing around restlessly. Suddenly, a group of men driving by stopped and kidnapped him. Everyone around was shocked and terrified. Meanwhile, that same day, Awele visited her landlady to bring her some food. They were quite close, so they chatted happily while the woman enjoyed her meal. Afterward, the landlady told Awele that she wanted to entrust some money to her for safekeeping. Thinking it was a small amount, Awele agreed casually, saying she could even tie it inside her wrapper. But she was shocked when she heard that the money was 45 million naira. Completely stunned, Awele asked who she had sacrificed to get such money. The landlady laughed and explained that it was her son who had sent her the money to buy a piece of land. She only wanted Awele to help her keep it safely to avoid being scammed. After a long discussion, Awele finally agreed to keep it for her. Back at Mr. Ahmed's shop, one of the kidnappers called him, demanding 1 million naira as ransom before Banji could be released. Mr. Ahmed immediately called Awele to inform her of what had happened. To his shock, when he confronted Banji, he realized Banji was not truly kidnapped. He was right there, drinking Coke and munching bread. Mr. Ahmed was deeply disappointed after hearing Banji's voice confirming it. Later that day, Pressure went to confront Banji, telling him that what he did was wrong and that his fake kidnapping stunt had cost him his job. Banji then explained how he came up with the plan with the help of some street guys. They talked for a while before parting ways. That night, Banji had Awele's phone in his hand and saw a huge credit alert, the 45 million in her account. Without allowing her to explain, he immediately jumped to conclusions, accusing her of owning the money and making her look like an unfaithful wife. The next morning, Awele's phone rang. It was Banji calling, but she refused to answer. Meanwhile, Tega was seen chasing Golden out of his house, telling her he wanted nothing more to do with her. Awele happened to see it and smiled quietly to herself. But just then, an unknown number called her, claiming that her husband had been kidnapped and that they needed 1 million or they would harm him. Awele didn't believe it. She thought Banji was using the same trick again to collect money from her. That night, Awele spent time with her landlady, chatting and relaxing. When Banji's call came in again, she ignored it. Her landlady noticed and gave her some wise advice. The next day, Pressure came to look for Awele and broke the sad news to her. Banji had really been kidnapped. Awele still refused to believe it until he showed her a message and video of Banji being beaten mercilessly. That was when she realized the truth. Devastated, Awele ran around the compound crying helplessly. Meanwhile, at the kidnappers' hideout, Banji begged them to let him go, promising to bring the money they demanded. Back home, Awele and Pressure tried to figure out what to do. They both went to Mr. Ahmed's shop to plead for help, but he didn't believe them. Even if he did, he had already made up his mind not to get involved. Both of them left, but shortly after, another message came in showing Banji being beaten again. Awele pleaded with the kidnappers to have mercy. Pressure, who recognized the location, quickly told Awele about it. Together, they rushed to the police station to report the case. Hours later, they arrived at an uncompleted building with the police. The kidnappers were arrested, and Banji was finally rescued and taken home. Filled with excitement, Awele ran to inform their landlady about the good news, only to find out that she was moving out. Shocked and afraid, she called out to Banji and Pressure for help. They rushed her to the hospital, where she fell into a coma. Back home, Awele helped Banji treat his wounds. Banji then asked about the money in her care. Awele told him that she intended to return it to Mama's son, but Banji thought for a moment and suggested that she use part of it to travel abroad while he stayed back. Awele was surprised by his words. They both apologized to each other and finally reconciled. A week later, Awele, Banji, Pressure, and Mama's son gathered together. They thanked him for his love and support. While he was speaking, Awele interrupted. Even though Banji tried signaling her to stay quiet and confessed that Mama had given her 45 million naira to keep. Surprisingly, Mama's son smiled and said that his mother had already told him she gave the money to someone she truly cared about to help them build a better life. He revealed that the money now rightfully belonged to Awele and Banji. Everyone was stunned, trying to process the news, and then he left, leaving them filled with joy and excitement. Months later, Awele and Banji went to a restaurant to eat. While chatting about what to do with the money, Banji called for the waiter to serve them. Guess what, guys? It was Collins, the same friend who had promised to help them travel abroad. Wow, that means he had been in Nigeria all along, trying to scam them. But fortunately for Awele and Banji, his plans failed, and the truth finally came out. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comment section, like this video, and of course, hit the subscribe button for more educative and fascinating movies from us. Until we meet again, bye!